Chris LaPlaca is an ESPN original. He was there for 43 years and was part of ESPN as it grew and became what it called itself, the worldwide leader in sports. He retired at the end of 2023 as ESPN chairman Jimmy Pitaro's right-hand man and the head of the communications department, which he ran for a long time. That's why we wanted to have Chris LaPlaca on as the main event. Chris, really appreciate you taking the time out of retirement to give us a couple of minutes here.
Well, Andrew, thanks for having me. I have to tell you, I know this is your podcast, but I hope you don't mind if I welcome your listeners to the Who's That edition of the Everybody Loves Sports Media podcast. Normally, this podcast is filled with who's who, big names, bold-faced names, even general sports fans would know who they are, but not today. I want to tell you this really quick story. Earlier, I was in my car. The song Once in a Lifetime by the Talking Heads came on, and David Byrne early in that song sings, and I have to ask myself, how did I get here? And that's exactly where I'm at today. I hope you know what you're doing.
I think we do. A couple of things. You spent 4 decades at ESPN, a lot of great stories that we're going to get into. Secondly, I got a lot of people in media relations who want to understand things better and are very interested in ESPN. So you're a great guest. I'm looking forward to all the stories. And you're tired, so you can tell us all the secrets. When you joined in 1980, right? So give us a little taste before I get to my sponsor. In 1980, you joined ESPN Bristol, Connecticut. What is it like?
I worked in a trailer, and they walked me in the front door, out the back door, and into a trailer. Eventually, I worked there with 9 different people. Rosa Gatti, who led the department at the time, a mentor of mine, was the only one who had a little cubbyhole office. The rest of us had folding tables as chairs, as desks, and we shared phones. It was crazy. I said, this is the future of sports television. It didn't feel like it, but turned out it was.
It did, and they didn't have WSC Sports back then, which is our presenting sponsor. If you want to use something that's going to make your life easier, it's WSC Sports, Digital Asset Management, a library that actually gets sports. If you're a team, you're a network, you're a league, just use WSC's Digital Asset Management, and the highlight comes in, they catalog it using their AI that they've been doing for more than a decade. Then a couple weeks later, you need that highlight, boom, right there, WSC Sports. Just go to WSC-sports.com. Also in the show notes, email to listen to the whole podcast at andrewmarchand.com, andrewmarchand.com.
As a former sports writer, you're really good at reads. Well, that was well done.
Yes, I learned everything I know from John Orand. Let's go back now. Give us just the Cliff Notes version of how you got to ESPN and kind of what happened when you got there.
Well, quick story. I tell this to young people all the time. When I was a senior at college at St. Bonaventure, I worked as a student sports information intern, and we played Villanova home game. We beat them last second shot, and my work was done. And I looked to my right in the press box, and the Villanova SID was trying to serve all these daily newspapers and radio stations. Anyway, I helped him. And eventually he knew about a job at Brown University. I got the job because I helped him that day. And my boss at Brown, Rosa Gatti, was first hired at ESPN to lead the comms group, and she took me with her a week later. And if I don't make that decision in the press box to help Ted Wolf, that's who it was, I'm probably not talking to you right now. So I tell young people all the time the importance of being present. I made a decision, go have beer because we won the game, or help Ted Wolf. And I helped Ted Wolf, and that's why I'm here right now. The culture at the time, and there's an element of this still today. I haven't been there in a year and a half at ESPN. We used to say, if the phone rang and it wasn't your phone, you picked it up. When you were trying to build a business, it didn't matter what your role was. You did whatever you could do to survive from one day to the next. And so I did learn a lot, and I worked with some really great people. Really quick story. The year Reagan got shot during the Final Four, I had a rental car, and we were satellites. There weren't a lot of them. And so SportsCenter was yesterday's news today. We had a bicycle tapes to the airport to get them to Bristol, and yesterday's interview airs the next day at 6. Well, one day we got an interview after that happened, and no one had a car, but I did. It wasn't my job, but I drove the tapes to the airport. And that's how we built the business.
That's incredible. Email to listen to the whole podcast at andrewmarchand.com, andrewmarchand.com. For those who don't know, ESPN started in 1979. Then in 1980, you come aboard. 1987, they get the NFL. That kind of, in my opinion, changed things. What is it like for you? You get the NFL in the mid to late 80s, and your career is growing. What is that like for